Coming second on our list of the best budget graphics cards is the ASRock Intel Arc 750 Challenger D 8GB OC. Arc A750 is the lower tier of the Arc 7 lineup, with the Intel Arc A770 topping the list, at a higher price point. The Arc series is the first iteration of the commercial Intel graphics cards, and they are quite promising, to say the least. To start off, the card is of a typical size you'd expect from a budget to mid-range GPU, with 271mm in length and 132mm wide. It uses the Generation 12.7 architecture, codenamed Alchemist, with a base clock of 2200 MHz. That's been boosted by 7% due to the factory-applied overclock. The L2 cache stands at 16 MB with 448 tensor cores present. With that said, how do all these specs weigh in performance? At 1080p resolution, this card can compare to the performance of much more expensive cards like the RX 7600 XT and even the RTX 4060 in certain games. This is especially impressive considering the card sits in the roundabouts of $200, while the other cards easily go for $300 plus. As for its direct competitors, the RX 6600 XT and even the RX 7600, the Arc A750 can outperform them by 1 to 5% in different games. All of this is thanks to continuous driver updates from Intel, which increase the performance of the cards in various games by large margins. However, since these cards are relatively new, I would recommend regularly checking for driver updates if you end up buying one. Unlike AMD and Nvidia, Intel drivers are not quite mature yet, which leaves a lot of room for precious performance gains and stability as they work on improving DirectX support across these cards. All of this performance is backed by the dual-fan cooling system design of the card. The heatsink includes multiple tightly fit copper heat pipes that maximize contact with the PCB, along with a nano-thermal paste and premium thermal pads throughout the PCB for improved heat dissipation. This keeps the temperatures at an average of 63 degrees Celsius while playing games at high settings. Albeit, the power draw remains the highest in comparison with its competitors, at around 212 watts. As such, the minimum recommended power supply officially is 550 watts. Fortunately, the acoustics remain at a fairly decent level, although the fans are likely to get loud if you push the limits by applying further overclocks. Other than gaming, I also think this card can be a solid choice for streaming, with the presence of the AV1 encoder, which minimizes the hit on performance. Speaking of streaming, the card is capable of streaming video to 4K and even 8K displays, an impressive feature for a budget GPU. As for connectivity, you get a single HDMI 2.1 port along with 3 2.0 display ports. In terms of looks, I do prefer the stock edition of the Intel Arc A750 for a more premium look. The ASRock Arc A750 Challenger D provides a more traditional look, with dual axial fans and stripes on the front panel. At such a tight budget, you're not investing in aesthetics, but the overall performance. In short, this card gives a tough time to even higher-end cards, while outperforming its direct competitors in most of the games. Plus, considering further optimization of the graphics drivers from Intel, the card is only going to get better. What I like is the great performance, sometimes matching that of higher-end cards. It supports AV1 encoder, and the amazing price-to-performance ratio. What I don't like is the larger power draw compared to competitors. Ratings: Design, 7 out of 10. Performance, 8 out of 10. Acoustics, 8 out of 10. Thermals, 9 out of 10. Value, 8 out of 10. For an overall rating of 8 out of 10.